Good morning, I'm Lynn and welcome to another day at Ewetopia Farms. Today we're going to start with feeding the lactating ewes. We have the lamb out in the feeders again. We're going to make a new gate for the rams. We say hello to someone you've all been wanting to meet. We discuss what happens when there's a death on the farm. We watch a mom getting mobbed. And 2 more ram lambs leave the farm. So let's get started. This morning we managed to get all 5 on the feeder. Still not, come here, calamity. But just feeding 1 is okay. We got big number 2 on today. He's beside his little brother. Put up a fight, but he got it. So I don't know if I mentioned it before, but we have a board there that Arnie has laying on top of that blue feeder. He's rolling a bale of hay out. But once he's done doing that, he has a little divider while he sits that plywood into. And that way, if the lambs jump out into the feeders here, they can't go to the back of the barn. They'll at least be confined to the front areas. And when you have 4 breeding like groups with lambs, 2 at the back as well, it's extremely handy then, because if a lamb gets into the feeder at the front, it can run all the way to the back and hop into any one of those. So you're searching for a lamb that could be in one of 3 other pens, which can be very difficult, and then knowing where it belongs. So that way, when you put the dividing wall up, you only have a choice of 2 pens, which makes it a lot easier. Watching both those 2 lambs nursing off that ewe. And they both have an 18 on their back. And they're nursing off a mom who has a 9 on her back. And she only has 1 lamb. So that mom is so busy eating, she doesn't realize 2 lambs are nursing off her. And her lamb is in here somewhere. I don't see number 9. But actually number 9 is my little ewe lamb that has quite the personality. She's a little crackerjack like Tammy was. Chewy's lamb, that is Chewy, and Chewy's eating, and her own lamb is nursing from the back too. But that is her lamb. So they nurse at the back because when they're in the lineup here, they can get stepped on by the ewes, so they quickly learn that they can access the teat from any angle. So that's Kupcake. So, look who I managed to catch when she wasn't looking and she was nursing behind her mom. This is Kupcake. She doesn't want to be here, but I got her when she wasn't looking. Hi. Yeah, your mom is Chewy. Isn't it? It's amazing. She goes off my knee and she knows all those back ends there, but she knows which one's her mom. I went right to her, and as you can see, at a very young age, the lambs quickly go to those salt and mineral feeders as well. I just knocked it all down so it's nice and fresh, and that one's having a taste of it. You here really has to learn how to say no. Now she's got 3 lambs on her. I'll see if any of those are hers. We got a 16. We got a 7. We got an 18. None of those are hers. She's a 9. But she has a single lamb that really, she must have a lot of milk, or she's just really tolerant. Because usually a mom will never, ever, ever do that. Mommy, you're gonna have no milk for your own lamb. And here's her lamb. Hey! I told you she had attitude. Hey! They're all drinking your mom's milk. Why are they doing that? Hey? Yes, come here. You got attitude. You're the lamb with attitude. And here's our little lamb that gets out every day. It'll be number 3. It's always the same one. Once they learn a bad habit, they do it. And you see, it's a female, and it is number 3. But that wall, you see, it divides her from being able to go at least into the back pens. And, I mean, she's smart enough to get in there. She should be smart enough to know that her pen is on this side over here. But occasionally, they get silly or they get excited or startled and they'll hop into the wrong pen. And that's why every day I will check to make sure everybody's in the right pen. So the ewe last night died. Arnie's taking her away now. We didn't think that she'd survive, but it's a really bad thing when you lose a sheep to listeriosis. It's caused by eating moldy feed usually. Our bales are fresh bales, but inevitably there'll be a little pocket of mold or whatever in there that usually the sheep will eat around, but occasionally somebody will eat it. And sheep are not tolerant to mold in the least, and you're gonna lose sheep that way. And unfortunately, she's had 1 lamb in the past. She's a really young ewe. And I checked her records last night, and luckily for us, she produced a keeper lamb this year. She's in our Dorset keeper flock because she was also a registered ewe. But she had a ewe lamb, so the ewe lamb can continue on. But when you lose a ewe that produced a keeper ewe lamb, that indicates that's a mom that you want to keep as well. So it's a really bad day on all counts when things like that happen. So this is the pen the ewe came out of who passed away. Of course, this pen is mostly crosses and old girls, and she was one of the few young purebreds in this group. So really unfortunate. You don't like anybody to have to die, but it seems inevitable. It's going to be someone you wanted to have a real long future at your farm. Like, for instance, we have this ewe here with the wool on her legs. Her udder is totally destroyed, but she's a pet, so we kind of left her here, and we said if she has lambs, we'll just bottle feed them. But she never misses a beat. Yeah, it's just bad luck. And I thought people might be curious what happens to our sheep when they die on the farm. I was going to show you, but I really didn't think it was appropriate content for a video channel. But I will tell you that if a sheep dies here, it gets buried in the manure pile. And over a very short period of time, the manure is so acidic that it totally eats away at the carcass until very shortly there's absolutely nothing left. And then later, when Arnie spreads manure over the field, that carcass will also have been a part of that composting process and will get spread over the field as well and put back into the cycle of life. We're in with the keeper rams. This here's Monster. Hi, Monty. Hi. Hi, you guys. Hi. These guys all want to go out. Killer has his spot in the back over there. He's still not feeling well. And again, it's the young ones and the ones that you wanted to keep around for a long time that this seems to always happen to. Yeah, Killer was one we had planned on keeping. He was not for sale. But yeah, makes you wonder sometimes if you should keep anyone, because inevitably this type of thing happens. It's a really difficult part of farming. Someone asked what happened to Monster. And this is Monster right over here. Hey, Monty. There he is. There you go, buddy. Monty. Hi, Monty. Come on over. Monster started off the biggest. He's not the biggest anymore. He's not the smallest either, but he's not the biggest. There he goes. But he is an RR, so he's fully scrapie resistant. Okay, so now the rams are all out in their paddock here, and they've done a pretty good job of eating the whole thing off. So we want them to get into the front pasture where normally we'd send the ewes, but the ewes are in the back pasture. They're heading out there now. And for the rams to get in this pasture over here, we don't have fences set up so that the ewe group and the ram group can be side by side. So we decided to cut a hole in this fence and put a gate up so that the rams can go in here. And in a minute I'll go over there, and that should attract them over to the hole. Right now a few of them are going to have a battle first and a run around.
On the bottom, they step over the 2x4.
So he's cutting, well, you could put a 2x4 up top too.
Yeah.
He's cutting a hole in the fence, but he's leaving the top strand and the bottom strand on so that it doesn't loosen the whole fence down the line. And so we'll just have to remember to duck if we go through here. We wouldn't be going through here that often anyway. Okay, so all the rams have made it through the fence hole here. And I'm a little worried because the opening is in the middle of the fence. Usually you put gates kind of near the ends of fences because then they can follow a fence line right out the gate. To know that there's an opening in the middle of the fence, it's gonna have to be a learned procedure. So getting them in tonight to find this opening could be a problem. Hopefully not, but yeah, I imagine we'll start bringing them in early just to make sure. Now there's not a lot of growth in this pasture. It's been dormant for quite a few months now. We have a lot of clover and dandelion regrowth, but all the grasses have basically been killed off. It really needs to be reseeded. But this is just 20 sheep on about 5 acres, I'm thinking. So there's lots here for them to nibble at that have a lot of protein in it. So it'll be good for them for a little while. And at this time of year, with the temperatures going to single digits, parasites should not be quite the issue that they once were. And they're liking the clovers, I can see that. We have a runway, like I said, that leads back to the barn. It's at the corner of this field before you hit the ewe field back there. And we got to block that runway off, because if they go down there, they're definitely going to be trapped and not figure out that they need to backtrack and come this way. So Arnie's just getting some panels, and we're going to just block that opening so they don't get the urge to go down there. Ben's decided that he's going to be the super dog out there and just keep his eye on them, make sure they stay in a cluster. So the rams are out there, the dogs have got them. Arnie's moving them around the field a little bit to the places with more grass. Killer went out there. One thing interesting I saw about Killer is that he was nervous because he was last out, so he was peeing, but he went to go poop, and it seemed that's where he was straining. So now we're thinking about treating him a little differently. Good girl, Katie. We got a truck and trailer in the yard. That means we're selling a couple more rams. Right now we're gonna get the trailers into position. Yes, Dorsets are wild. So this is one of the guys going to a new home.
Should I change my mind now?
As a courtesy service, we're trimming their hooves, because some people have a little more difficult time with hoof trimming and they do need doing. So we caught the second ram. These are repeat customers of ours. They have a small flock of commercial sheep. They have a lot of Suffolks, but they want to put the first timers with the Dorset just to have smaller lambs for a first timer. Hi, you're very handsome. His hooves aren't that bad, are they?
No, not bad. Katie, don't.
Max? Getting a halter on this guy now, and we're gonna do the leaping and jumping across the yard to the trailer. Okay, buddy, you look handsome. This is the next one in. Ben. There he goes. That was a nice leap. Shut the door, yeah. And here they are. At least they're buddies and won't fight at the new farm. They look a little sad right now. You guys are going to be okay. It's going to be okay. They're going to a really, really good home. There they go with the two lambs. Two nice little ram lambs. One's a little pet too, so they'll like him. So that's it for another day at Ewetopia Farms. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join us again tomorrow. Bye for now.